We've seen how winning a medal is all about keeping cool under pressure. And now we're going to see how extreme pressure produces a medal.
The thing that people don't realise about making a medal is how long that it takes from starting out with a design or a design concept to actually having your gleaming new medals. You should allow something like 10 weeks. It's a 10-week process generally.
The first step in the production of a medal is design. Today, this is achieved digitally on computer software. A 2D design is made of the medal before this is translated to a 3D digital model. Once the model has been made, this is then turned into a mould. For medals with high relief, which basically means a high depth in the design of the metal, a large-scale version of the design is created. This can be produced in one of two ways. The traditional method, which is still used today, is to sculpt onto clay by hand, using fine cutting and grating tools.
For me, I love the carving process because it's something that I lose myself in. I get completely in the zone, and I just love doing it. And if I probably had my choice, that's what I'd be doing all the time.
The modern method is to use an engraving machine. This requires a CAD or computer-aided design model to be made digitally. The advantages of the modern method is that the design can be repeated infinite times with complete consistency. Once this large-scale model has been made, it is then used to create a steel die. The steel die will later go on to be used to press the metal of the medal. Firstly, the large carved model is placed in a reducing machine. The machine then traces and copies the design from the model that has been carved. The machine then cleverly reduces the diameter of the trace pattern and uses this to cut the design onto a piece of steel. This becomes the steel die. The newly cut steel die is then put onto a lathe, where the die is turned in order to make it exactly the correct diameter. This will later go on to be the diameter of the medal. Once we have the die with the pattern cut and sized exactly right, it must be heat treated. The die is heated to a temperature of exactly 790 degrees in order for the metal to achieve the optimum hardness that will ensure the die will not crack under the extreme pressures of the minting stage. The red-hot die is quenched in oil and then tempered back to the correct hardness. Now that we have our finished die, the medal is ready to be minted. To start the minting process, strips of metal are prepared from metal sheets. The sheets are cut to the appropriate size for the completed medal. These blanks are then placed into a hydraulic press that has been fitted with the die. The metal blanks are then stamped at extreme pressures of up to 500 tons. That's the weight of 2 passenger jets or 2.5 Statue of Liberties being pressed down onto the metal. The stamped metal is then heat treated in a process called annealing. It goes through a furnace on a conveyor belt. Annealing basically means softening the metal by heating it. Once it has been annealed, it is then restruck in the press. This is repeated until all of the detail from the steel die has been pressed into the metal. Our medal is now taking shape. It is cut to size using a variety of tools, such as lathes, handsaws, and sanders. Now the medal can be finished in a series of polishing processes, such as bead blasting, where tiny beads are fired under high pressure at the medal. As well as this, the medal is placed in a machine full of small steel balls and some polishing solution. As the machine vibrates, the medal moves around the bowl and gets gently burnished to make it shiny. The clasp for the medal is also tumbled in a similar way to polish it before being fitted to the medal. At this point, the medal is pretty much complete. From here it can be engraved on the reverse in an engraving machine, as well as having a ribbon fitted to it. With the shiny new medal complete, it's ready to be gifted to the lucky recipient.
The challenge for us really is to make something really beautiful, really attractive design with a nice crisp image, so that for thousands and thousands of years people will be looking at it and it'll be a credit to the recipient of the medal and also to us, the makers.
Medals, a rewardingly wicked invention.